Hey everyone, welcome to the very first video on the channel of Wizzy's World. I'm Beth. The title of the channel actually came from a nickname given to me by my grandmother, and I actually decided to start this channel to share a little bit of everything that makes up my day-to-day life and the things that I enjoy doing. I know a lot of people usually make separate channels for different things such as gaming, crafting, and lifestyle in general, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to make this one channel a mix of it all, because after all, that mixture is what makes up my real life. Also, my real life is not perfect. If you can't tell, the placement of my camera, I'm not looking straight at it as if I'm talking to you. I'm looking on the other screen because I have two screens on this computer. And that's because the cord that I have for the camera is too short to reach the other screen. So it is what it is for now. On this channel, you can expect things like gameplay. Mostly Sims is my go-to game, but I may add on a few others later on. We'll also be talking and doing different planning and organizing. I like to do that type of thing, and budgeting. The savings challenges and the cash envelope stuffing, budget journals, bullet journals, Google Calendar time blocking, positivity. I'm going to try to make it a very positive experience. A lot of crafting will also be going on, especially today. And it's all filmed right here in my actual home because I don't have a studio and I don't have an office. I guess you could call my little area here in my living room my office, or sometimes my kitchen table. You'll also see either my cat or my dog in the background a lot of times, or they'll make some noise because they live here too. It's real life. Like I said, I don't have an office. I don't have a studio. It's my home. We live in it. It's used every single day. So we work with what we have and we're grateful for it. But for today's video, we're jumping straight into the crafting. A guy my husband works with needs shirts for his business. He was kind enough to give me permission to film the process of making them. So we're going to fire up the Cricut Explorer 4 and we're going to get to work. Right now, we are in Cricut Design Space. Okay, after a lot of frustration and trying to figure this out, I tested a few websites, and because the letters was coming out wrong, I'm going to have to cut a lot of what I recorded out because it just took so long. And anyway, this is the best one I've found yet for the designs that he sent me. They were PDFs, and I needed them to be either SVG or PNG, I believe, for this particular project. And I was having trouble getting it to work. Whenever I would cut out the background, it would mess these letters up, and they're still a little bit messed up, but they're a lot better than they were before. So this is good. I need to resize, do some measuring, and then we'll get to cutting. And just so you all know, the way I did this, I converted it from a PDF to I think this is a PNG file. Anyway, what I did was I used the screenshot tool, and I took a screenshot of it, and then I went through, because the Cricut remove background was not working as well as my other option, which is removebackgroundbg.com. Well, there is the website. I highly recommend it. If at first Cricut background remover messes up your design, try this one. I'm going to do some measuring in the kitchen and on the shirts, because this is going to be on the top left side of the shirt on the front. This is going to be on the back, so this one's going to have to be bigger, and this one's going to have to be smaller. I don't think it'll let me do 12 by 12 exactly, because it needs a little bit of space on the sides, and the mat is only 12 by 12. Okay, I'm only going to do 11.5 by 7.18 for this, because though my Cricut seems to be calibrated pretty well, I don't want to take the chance of cutting part of the design off by putting it on 12. I'm just going to do this one for now, see how that cuts out. Okay, I'm going to use, according to my notes, the mirror needs to be toggled on, because we're going to place the shiny side down towards the mat. I'm going to use more pressure, because I seen suggestions in my research that said that's good for the value iron-on. I guess we'll find out. I guess it depends on your machine also. So I'm going to use the more pressure, and we'll see how this comes out. It's kind of just a test as you go type of hobby here, crafting. So I'll be back. We are going to get our mat ready. Oh, this is not the right mat. This is a light grip mat. If you get usually they're blue. This one's not a Cricut brand. It's real like, but so far it's been pretty good. Haven't had a problem. But light grip is for things like cardstock, paper, stickers, if you're doing that. We don't need that. We need a standard grip, which this is the real like brand, so it's clear. I want to say, I could be wrong, but I want to say the Cricut brand mat is green for standard grip. So we're going to take that off, put the dinosaur sticker side down so that any dust or debris that's on the table will not get on it. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And this actually comes with its own instructions. It says it can be applied to 100% cotton, 100% polyester, polycotton blends, fabric, etc. The shiny side, see, shiny, not matte. We want shiny side down, facing the mat. And like I said, do not forget in your design space to click the mirror button. Otherwise, it won't turn out right. It'll turn out backwards. Now we have some air bubbles because I didn't do what I was supposed to do and do the taco style, fold it like a taco first. So this is what the brayer also helps with, is to get those air bubbles out so your Cricut can print it, or cut it, not print it, better. And then we're going to push the open. This is a learn as you go channel. You try it out, see what the mistakes are, try to figure out what you can do better, and we'll learn together. I guess the weeding part, which also is not a very... Some people like the weeding and they find it therapeutic in a way. from what I understand, or what I've heard, me personally, I find it to be a tedious task. But it's part of the Cricut crafting. It must be done. Before we click this button right here that's flashing, we need to make sure that this cut properly. We need the clear piece to be not cut, but we need the black piece to be cut. So we're gonna do a test weed with, I have two different tools. This one's the better one. With this tool, before pushing that button, because once you push that button, it won't align right. It'll be too difficult. I'm gonna test this out, see what's up. Make sure that this part is down. Okay, so that has done correctly for that part. So you can go ahead and push the little button. Show you all how to do this. Okay. I'm gonna have to invest in another tripod because this one's just irritating me, and this is supposed to be a pleasant experience, not an irritating experience. So we take our weeding tool. You have to be extra careful, especially if they're new and you haven't used them a lot, which I have not, because it's kind of difficult to get these off. Some people like to either just pat their hands or like paper towels or stuff on them before using them, just to keep them from being so difficult, but I don't want to do that. Just a tip if you do, but I don't want to do that. Okay, so we got the mat off. I am going to go ahead and turn this around to where the not shiny side is, and then I'm going to find my scissors, which is in this nifty little tool. If you don't know, this is storage. You also have those little pockets for pins and other things, but this is where I keep my scissors, in this little thing. And to keep from wasting material that you could possibly use, you cut around the design. So my design's pretty big because I used one sheet for both the front and the back. So we're gonna have to cut. It's really hard to see for me, so I know you all can't, but there's not much I can do about it. Where it's a black material, it makes it a little more difficult. So we're going to cut, making sure we don't cut the design itself, around this. And then I'm gonna cut here. Make sure that, like I said, that we're not cutting the design itself, either one of the designs. Like I said, I didn't want to waste material, so okay. So we got that figured out, and then I kind of ripped that a little bit, so I'm gonna be really careful. It is really hard to see. Okay, so this is all the material that we would be wasting if I didn't cut that out. Make sure that you can see everything. Hello, Boobo. Did you come to help? I don't think you'll be very helpful with this. Okay, so make sure that we do this carefully, slowly and carefully. Okay, so we're getting the main part off of the plastic. And this is really easy to rip vinyl. That's why I say be careful. You don't want to rip your design by mistake. Okay, so we got the main big part off. Now we need to get one of these middle rings off. I'm gonna go check the computer to make sure which one so I don't mess up. Okay, so I need the middle part of this. This part needs to stay, the outer ring, and then this little tiny one needs to come out. Actually, this vinyl seems to be so far easier to weave than the other brand, whatever that brand was. Okay, and then we need to trim out and weed out this bigger circle. Oh goodness, and I forgot. There's letters in here that I'm gonna have to weed. That part's not gonna be fun. Okay. So we have to be really careful around these letters. Some people use transfer tape to actually reverse weed, I think is what they call it. I personally am too cheap to do that. I don't want to use transfer tape. Oh no, my E's coming off. That's why you need to be careful and move slow. I guess that's also why people don't like being cheap and will use transfer tape. Like I said, tedious task. Now I've got to get these little tiny pieces out of the E's so that you can tell they're E's. Okay, everything else seems to be good. Make sure that's down properly. One down. This is the heat press. I'm going to turn it on 315 for we're going to go for 30 seconds. Going for 35. We want this to preheat to 315, which it already was set for that, I believe. Yes, 315. And this color will change. It'll let you know when it's preheated. Obviously, it tells you on the display. So while that preheats, I'm going to get a shirt. The design should be around here. The shiny side needs to be up this time. So I'm going to set it down and then I'm going to pick the phone up. We also need a piece of parchment paper. This helps to protect the iron heat press on. And then we're gonna move this over out of my way. We're gonna put the parchment paper over the design. Okay, and don't turn off. And then we're going to put the heat press here and press the go button and use pressure with both hands for, I think it's at 30 seconds, but I do 35. I kind of want to just be sure that it's on there. Okay, So I'm gonna put that back in its little holder. Move the parchment paper. And then this needs to cool completely, or at least a little bit, because that's really hot, before we can remove it. So I'm gonna let that sit there and cool, and I'll be back. I think that should be cool enough. Now this is another do slowly part. You're gonna take the shiny piece of plastic and you're gonna slowly and carefully, just like the weeding, start pulling this up off of the shirt. Make sure all those little pieces are sticking to the shirt well. Especially those E's. Those E's was giving me a hard time when it came to the weeding. I think it looks good. Okay, that's how it came out. For the front, we still have the back. And I'm gonna get as many of these creases and wrinkles out so that our design has a nice flat surface, or as flat as I can get it. Anyway, it would be easier if the cord was longer. Cricut, can you make cords longer for people like me that don't have a studio with a lot of outlets? Put it over this, and I am going to scoot this over a little. We're going to take our heat press, and this is going to have to be done in multiple. This is going to have to be done in multiple sections because this is a bigger design, and you want to overlap, so you make sure that you get them all. But you don't want to move this around like a regular iron. You want to make sure that each section has 35 seconds. I'm going to go with this section over here first. And firmly press. Okay. And then move it over. And then sure it's on all pieces. You should probably put your hair up to do this. If you have long hair, but I didn't. Okay, let's see. Take this off and give it time to cool. Here we go. The period for the exclamation point did not stick. I was having trouble getting it while weeding as well. So I'm not sure how to fix that, except for maybe be even more careful next time. It could be where the wording was messed up and it was just so small, or it could be the brand of vinyl. I'm still testing things out and figuring them out. That so far is how it's come out. And this is the back of the shirt. I think what I'm gonna do is call this quits for now. I need to take a lunch break. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you like, subscribe, and return to watch more. Bye-bye.